Okay, so number 4, surrounding yourself with supportive people. I keep talking about coaches, mentors, therapists, um, online communities, in-person communities, safe spaces, supportive, safe spaces that don't judge, who are there to help and not hinder. The company we keep impacts how we see ourselves. If we are around people who are judgmental, people who have ill intention, people who live in self-doubt, people who live in negative beliefs, people who are persistent about keeping you in your place. Ooh, baby, you will never be uplifted, inspired, or encouraged to grow. You just won't, right? So that's why I always talk about try to find a great mentor. Try to find a great coach, supportive friends who see the potential in you, right? Limit your time with people who drain your energy. It will feel like the biggest accomplishment in your life because the people who sometimes drain your energy are the people who are closest to you that you have to see every day. And it can be very hard limiting the time that you are with them, or people who make you feel small. If you work somewhere where you're already going through things at home and you are working at a place where every time you turn around, you have somebody who is just digging at you and digging at you, you may have to, at some point in your life, say, hey, Tom, every time we have a conversation, you always you emit an energy about you that is very demeaning. And I just want to know, what is it about you that feels like you should be able to talk to people like that? Right? Now, yes, we're supposed to be making I statements when we're talking about mental health. But I feel like you are an asshole. It just seems like maybe that's not the best way to go to it. And start to follow positive influences. People talk about the social media boom in such a negative way, when if you are really working on correcting and perfecting your algorithm, you have the opportunity to really tap into some very positive spaces, some positive communities, places where you are not comparing yourself to unrealistic success, places where people are very real and down to earth, places where people are talking about the things that you are going through, but really talking about them in a growth, like from a growth standpoint, instead of a woe is me, let's stay here and only sulk in this space, right? They're not trying to make money off of the pain that you're going through. That is something really big. So, like, make a list of people who inspire you and support you. And if those people don't live in your house, follow them if you can find them on social media, or take time to learn how to engage with people, like-minded people who see themselves as forward thinkers, who are looking at healing in a very organic, holistic way, who are who fit your cultural profile. And that doesn't mean they have to be black. That doesn't mean they have to play sports and these different things, but it does mean that they need to have some kind of reference point to understand who you are and your backstory. It makes such a big difference when we're talking to each other. Okay, so we're going to talk about using affirmations and visualizations. I actually created a slide for affirmations because I'm really big on, sometimes you think that you're trying to figure out what affirmations you want to use. You think the affirmations may not be for you. You can substitute affirmations for prayers. You can substitute affirmations for mantras. You can substitute affirmations for chants. You just have to figure out what works well for you, right? What we repeatedly tell ourselves shapes our reality. Affirmations help with reprogramming your mindset, while while visualizations create a mental roadmap for success. I am so big on affirmations and visualization. The reason why visualizations work well for me is because I need to see it once. I just need to see it once, right? And sometimes seeing it once is really just closing your eyes and seeing yourself in such a different space. Because whenever anybody says, how do you see yourself? If I close my eyes, I am always smiling with like a bomb lipstick on. I have my hair in braids. I am usually wearing like a yellow dress. It's flowers around me. I am barefoot and I am smiling with my friends and family, right? That is absolutely my perfect visualization, right? It's me in the most confident, joyful space. It's me in a safe space. It's me in a supportive space. And I had to train myself to be that way because I used to be like, all I see is doom and gloom. We're all going down. I was sad from off of Inside Out. I don't know. Like, it was not okay, right? But affirmations took a longer time for me to it took a longer time for me to get into that space because I'm an overthinker's thinker and I can literally be saying affirmations and have a whole separate conversation happening in my head. And then the song will start playing, and then the affirmation don't make sense anymore because I'm trying to figure out what the song was. Was I really listening to that song? Oh my gosh, what about that show I saw? It's just one of those things. But I had to really learn how to practice being affirming to myself. I had to practice I statements. I had to practice being kinder to myself. I was not always kind to myself. I promise you that. I can promise you that. Right? So we want to practice affirmations daily. And let me say this. Don't you ever say an affirmation that you don't believe in unless you are in that healing space, right? Because you will do two things to your mind. You'll be saying the affirmation and then split your mind in half and telling yourself at the same time, I don't believe this. I don't believe it at all. I am kind. No, I'm not. I am beautiful. No, I'm not. Mm-mm-mm. Start with the things about you that are true about you, right? But in a positive way. I can knit the hell out of a pair of socks. I make a really good sourdough bread. Start with the things that make you proud of who you are and what you can accomplish, right? And then as you start building that confidence about what you can do, it will start to help you understand I am a baker. I am a really good baker. Okay, all right. Break it down a little bit more, right? Like, I am getting so good with math and fractions and like really breaking down the scientific way the scientific things, steps that I need to take in order to be able to bake. Oh my God. Is you a scientist now? Is that what you're doing? Are you a professional baker? Did I just hear you get a degree? I'm just saying, it's small things. And then we pop off, but you really have to set yourself up. You have to be in this space where you allow yourself to see you grow. You allow yourself to see you change. And then you start affirming those things about yourself, right? And then the challenges that you face, you'll already have this wall of I can't. That when the wall of you can't kicks in, you'll be like, yeah, but I can do all these things, which means that I could probably do that thing. I just need to focus on it. See what I mean? You see what I mean? We're doing it. We're doing it. I love it. I love it so much. And then we want to talk about embracing imperfection. Didn't we talk about earlier about this whole perfectionist situation here? Baby, I just want us to realize that half of our body is bigger than the other half. One side of your hair is going to give you the best curls you've ever had in your life. The other half, it don't even care about you. It's disrespectful on so many levels. That one shoe is going to fit your foot it's going to be the best. You're going to have to jam your toe into that next set of shoes. Just your breast's going to be good on one side, not on the other side. You're going to try to figure out how come you standing one shoulder up, one shoulder down. There's nothing, there's none perfect about it, right? But learning from failure, learning how to dress that body, learning how to address your emotions, learning how to address your thoughts, learning how to see yourself is not failing, but learning a lesson, learning how to see that that self-doubt is just your pivoting table to be able to do something different. Like failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of it. If you don't fail a couple of lots of times, you're gonna fail more than you're gonna succeed. Listen to me. Your success may be big, but those failures, they added up. They started packing onto each other. And you was looking back like, hey, what are y'all crowding up this room? One of y'all gonna have to go sit somewhere else because, and that's where that success took a little seat next to you and was like, hey, I like you. How are you doing? You was like, doing great today. So we need to understand that perfection is an illusion. Not one person that you have met has it all figured out. There's something about them that they're still insecure about. All of us have been there. All of us will continue to be there. All of them. All of them. The person who telling you that your life not good, why they got time to tell you that your life not good? Because they trying to deflect from the fact that their life not good either. I'm just letting you know. Can I get an amen? All right. So instead of fearing mistakes, see them as feedback, learning from them. Hey, I really think that the report that you did last time could have been a little more, could have had a little more information in there. Why would they even talk to me like that? I can't even write it anymore. I don't think maybe I can go back and figure out how to improve this report so that it gives them the information they need. Did they give me instructions so that I knew exactly what they were looking for? Maybe I need to respond back with, could you please give me more feedback on what you require or are looking for in this report? And then I will make sure that I double down on those things so that the report is full of what you're looking for. In a relationship, you know, I just feel like we don't communicate good. I don't understand what's going on. What you saying? We talk to each other every day. Hey, what does communication mean to you? What does communication look like to you? How would you like to be communicated to? Is there a way for us to communicate that makes you feel more comfortable, more seen, more heard, and more validated, right? That's big girl communication skills. I didn't always have those. I used to be like, it's too bad for you. Baby, let me tell you something. I was looking for my relationship, and that motherfucker was sailing on a midnight train to Georgia. That's what it was doing. So refrain from failure. Instead of I failed, say I learned something valuable. I learned that I don't do relationships with people who treat me as if my feelings aren't valid. I learned that the next time I'm in a relationship, I should speak up when I see something or feel like something is off. This infidelity has taught me that I'm stronger than I thought I was, but that I still require the love that anybody else desires in their life, right? Actionable steps. You want to reflect on past mistakes or failures, write down 3 lessons that you learned from. You have learned so much from failure. You have learned so much from falling and skinning your knees. You've learned so much from opening the oven and deflating the cake, right? We've learned so much, but we don't always look at it as learning. We look at it as failure because some of us grew up with people who had experienced so much failure and never worked on healing that when they saw you fail, they saw it as an opportunity for them to put somebody else down so that they could feel, that other person could feel how they feel on the inside, right? So I'm here as a healing person who wants you to understand that your failures are successes. They just look different. And that's why we are discussing these things. And that's why we're talking about improving self-doubt. We're talking about improving what fear looks like to you. We're talking about improving what insecurities look like to you. We're talking about improving what self-confidence, self-doubt, self-worth, self-confidence, self-trust, self-care. We're talking about all these things. And I keep using the word self because Listen, baby, we can build a great community around us, but if we don't stand up and allow them to brush us off, if we don't feel confident about allowing them to be in our lives, if we don't feel confident about allowing them to love on us, if we don't feel confident about how we think they see us, right? it's it creates this push and pull that's not always positive. You're always having tension in that relationship, and that does not give you the freedom space that you need in order to heal on this journey. And you're not, oh, none of us ever heal 100%. None of us ever heal 100%, right? Once that scar is there, there will always be a place where that scar is. However, what we're learning to do is not build on tragedy. We're learning how, I'm sorry, we're learning how to build on the tragedy, not around the tragedy. Like, we're not stepping around it and just letting it be there. We're learning how to touch that tragedy, figure out what kind of pain and hurt it was, where the responses were in our body, what it felt like with our mind. Oh, so when I push this space, this thing hurts. Why does this thing hurt? Oh, it hurt because of this situation. Okay, what did I learn from this situation, right? That's what we're really working on. We're working on learning how to see our past failures and mistakes as lessons and future pivoting plans, because most people who are super successful, and I'm not talking about money, most people who are super successful failed so many times and they learned a lot of lessons, and they took those lessons and changed those into positive outcomes for themselves. And that is chef's kiss. Now we want to talk about strengthening your self-trust. We're going to go through this quick because, again, I'm going to put the caveat is that you should be talking to a counselor, a therapist, a psychiatrist. And I do understand that those things ain't free. Okay? They are not free. But you want to be doing work outside of a course like this to really understand and be there for yourself, right? Because building self-trust is key to overcoming self-doubt. Building self-trust, learning to trust your actionable steps, the things that you do that make you you, that make you celebrate you, will help you overcome self-doubt. When you trust yourself, fear loses its grip on. I always think about it in the sense of Eminem in 8 Mile and his like really like when he said to his opponents, I know this. These are the things about me. This is what I don't like. This is what's the reality of. What else can you tell me that I don't know about myself, right? Fear and faith, right? I have faith that I will get through this fear. I know all of these things about myself. I know all of these truths about myself. I have accepted some of these flaws about myself. And yet I am still here and I'm still highly favored. I'm still walking in my faith. The fear did not lead me to hell as you told me it would. Actually, fear propelled me closer to my faith, right? I'm walking. Fear is I see it, but I have faith that when I open up this door, I will be protected on the other side, right? And that is so big when we're learning to focus on self-trust, right? Keeping small promises to yourself, boundaries, keeping small promises to yourself, boundaries. If you say you're going to do something, follow through with it. I said I was not going to call this person because every time I talk to them, it hurts my feelings. Work on why it hurts your feelings before you even allow yourself to dial a number on a cell phone that you pay for. Listen, you pay for that telephone bill and you still allowing people to call you and talk to you crazy? I want to talk to you myself. Listen to me. No, that's the answer. No. You said, but they pay for the cell phone. Then you get $15 and you pay for the cell phone bill yourself. You just can't be all on the internet. You ain't gonna have nothing fancy. You gonna get a little flip phone? A little buy here, pay here phone? I'm sorry, the number you have called is paid for by me. If you say anything disrespectful, this phone will be disconnected. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm just saying, right? Reflect on past successes, big and small, and remind yourself that you are capable of achieving. You are capable of doing. You are capable of overcoming. Stop seeking excessive validation from others. This is why I talk about being in safe spaces that help validate you and who you are and what you're going through, right? Because there's a difference between kindness and niceties. Niceties are people who tell you things just at surface level, right? You know, they're not even giving you any depth to that conversation. Kindness is when a person sees you in all of your flawedness and can still see the joy in you. They can still see they can still see the accomplishments in you. They can still see the light in you past your mistakes. Makes such a big difference, right? Your discussions, I'm sorry, your decisions don't need external approval. Wait a minute, let me say that again. Let me say that again. Your decisions don't need external approval. Listen, every now and again, you'll read something that you wrote and was like, did I write that? I don't know. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know, baby. But your decisions don't need external approval, baby. So many of us are taking advice from people who don't take advice for themselves. They just can't do it. They be like, hey, baby, you shouldn't be smoking as they smoking in your face. Hey, you need to lose about 40 pounds as they are knocking, doing a little knee knocker on you. And you like, shouldn't we all be taking this? All be taking this. If you just treated your man better, he wouldn't be with me. You know how they say how you get them is how you're going to lose them. I'm just saying. So, what actionable steps, right? Each night, write down one thing that you did well that day, no matter what it is. You know what? Today, all I did right was put these socks on. All right. I didn't have them inside out. I didn't have the string cutting over the front of my toes, making my feet feel nasty. They were the same color. I can't say that the patterns match because I'm always got on mismatched socks. So I ain't even gonna hold you to it. It's not what I'm going to do, baby. Not at all. So let's talk about developing a resilient mindset. Right? Resilience is what helps keep you going despite your setbacks. Resilience is trusting in yourself that you are capable of overcoming the thing that you're going through right now. It can be so hard. This is what resilience is, a practice, baby. You got to practice being resilient. You have to practice and preach and practice and preach and verify and validate, pull out a ticket. You got to lock yourself in a box and be like, hey, you have this. You know what you're doing. You've done this before. You will overcome this before. You are too great to sit down and watch your life pass you by. You just need a moment to take a deep breath, get some water, mind your business, and stay focused, right? And that could be hard sometimes. I do understand it. It can be hard sometimes. But this is why we are looking at these like resilience and seeing it. And this is why instead of seeing obstacles as the reason why you quit something, viewing them as a stepping stone, it's like, yes, it's like, yes, you received the no. Yes, you received the call that you are no longer going to be in that relationship. Yes, you received the call that the infidelity happened. Yes, you received the call that you were rejected. What did I learn about myself during this process? What do I know about me 10 toes down that's going to help me move to the next place, go to the next level, like achieve, ascend, and really like just pivot and blow this thing out of the stratosphere, right? That is what I'm talking about when I say obstacles. They're stepping stones. Failures are stepping stones. I failed. Next, because I got to wake up the next day and do it again. I failed. Next, because I still got to do the thing again. I failed. Oh, I stepped back down. I failed. But what did I learn between here? I learned that these two things aren't relevant in this conversation. So I'm not going to use those anymore. But I learned that if I talk about this thing, I get to step up two more times, right? It's learning how to see yourself in a growth pattern versus in a descending pattern. So ask empowering questions. How can I adapt to this situation? What can I learn from this situation? What strengths have I gained from this experience? So when you identify a challenge you've overcome in the past and you reflect on how you got through that thing, you can apply the same resilience to your current fear. Man, let me tell you something. When you identify the challenge that you've overcome, you've already overcome it. And you reflect on how you got through that thing, that challenge, that moment, that fear, right? That rejection. And you apply the same resilience. I got over it because I got up every day. I got over it because I prayed every day. I got over it because I did my mantras every day. I got over it because I did my affirmations every day. I got over it because I found a great support system. I got over it because I had to get over it. I got over it because I learned how to properly grieve. I got over it because I started communicating my wants, needs, and desires. I got over it because I realized that my feelings were valid and that I am able to accomplish and overcome so many things, right? So I don't want you to look at yourself as weak. We have weak moments. All of us do. You bring a hot brownie in my face right now, and I'm going to stop this video. That It's weakness, baby. It's a weakness. But once I finish, I'm going to keep this video going because we're on a roll and we're learning some things. So the next thing we want to talk about is practicing mindfulness and self-compassion. I've talked about this in other videos, but I want us to remember when we are attaching mindfulness and self-compassion to self-doubt, it often stems from being too hard on ourselves. It's having that perfectionism gene. It's from thinking that if we aren't at a certain place at a certain time, based off societal norms or based off of the community that you're in, based off of the pictures that you're looking at, based off of the stories that you see, that somehow we are less than great. The fact that you were born is a miracle all by itself. Everything else after that is a cherry on fucking top. And we all go through trying times. Some people are tested way more than others. My goodness, are they tested way more than others? But I promise you, most of the people who have been tested turn out to be some of the kindest people you will ever meet in your life because they never want anybody else to feel that way, especially as they ascend out of the trying times that they're going through. So I want us to remember that practicing mindfulness and self-compassion can help you treat yourself with kindness. But the wonderful part about that, it helps you learn how to treat other people with kindness. And that by itself allows you to build this cohesive community around you. People who see you in your openness, your rawness, your flawedness, and they allow you to still be you. They allow you to still be human. It doesn't mean that they don't pull you up and check you sometimes. They allow you to crash out in safe spaces because all of us deserve a space to crash out and get ourselves together and then still be us, right? And still be seen as human. So I want us to be aware of how we're talking to ourselves. Would you speak to a friend the way you're speaking to yourself? Remember, You're your first bestie. Why are you talking to yourself like that? We want to learn how to accept that are a work in progress and that growth takes time. When you shave your head off, when you shave all your hair off, how fast does it take to grow back? When you gained all that weight, how long did it take for you to lose it, right? Like you have to think about that. It's double the time, sometimes triple the time for that to happen. And we have to give ourselves time. Like you get told that something is like crazy as infidelity happened, and you think that by next Tuesday you should be already rebounded, start a new relationship, healed, and got a few degrees. Like that's not how it works. I'm not saying it can't work like that because there are some people who can do the impossible, but I'm just saying that it can take a minute in business lifetime, not in real lifetime, because business a minute in business lifetime is like watching a football game. You thought it was gonna be over. It ain't never over. It's not even over when it's a minute left. You just like, we still here? Okay. Everybody good? Go Ravens. No, put your hand down. Okay. All right, I see that. And engage in mindful practice like deep breathing, meditation, yoga, journaling, things that help you stay present instead of being able to fixate on your fears of what's going to happen in the future. I was today years old. I want to say probably like maybe 5 years ago when I heard it was a coach say that fear is a movie that you've created in your head and nobody's paid to be there. And I was like, oh, first off, me? Like you think I'm creating things just because? And that's what I'm doing. Okay. But I didn't, that's not what he said. Yeah, that's what you're doing. That's oh, okay. I'm creating a movie and nobody's paid. Nobody's paid. I have all this anxiety and I didn't pay nobody to be here. No wonder they doing such a horrible job of repairing themselves, right? So one of the actionable steps that we can take is writing a compassionate letter to ourselves as if we were speaking to a friend who was going through a struggle. I put a template up for that one on my website, a love letter to yourself or just a compassionate letter to yourself. Man, when you read those letters, they're just samples. But when you read them, you're like, hmm, hmm, is that how I talk to myself every day? No. Oh, you didn't have to say it so fast. I was just asking. You just said it. You said no so fast. I ain't never. Do I ever talk nice to myself? You heard me say something nice to myself last Tuesday. Was that the first time I said something nice to myself? Oh, in about 3 weeks. Why are you counting? Accountability. Got it. Got it. I'm telling you, it'll make you crazy. Mm. Okay, so now we're at the end. The end of the video. We got more to talk about, but take a leap. At the end of the day, the best way to overcome self doubt and fear is to act despite going through it. Is to move forward despite going through it. Is to win. What's that? It's a video right now. Is win anyway. Feel anyway. Express yourself anyway. Pray anyway. Chant anyway, affirm anyway, love anyway, enjoy anyway, feel elation anyway, look for peaceful spaces anyway, right? Because you have to build confidence in yourself through actions, not just a lot of us think that we should win the lottery, but we don't play. I'm like, I can't wait until I'm a lottery winner. I can't wait to be on my lottery home with Jonathan. I played the lottery. I can't even think before COVID. All right. Before COVID, right? So stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. I told you this at the beginning. Do things that scare you and make you feel uncomfortable. Start small. It doesn't have to be these crazy, I'm going to get on a roller coaster. Hey, 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 maybe that's not your place, right? Because if you don't take an extra set of clothes, you piss yourself. Now, here we are having a conversation about something like that, right? We're talking about small things that scare you. Or if you're thinking to yourself, I should apply for this job. I really should apply for this job. I'm overqualified for this job. Know that you are not going to be paid what you're worth. But if that's the job that you want, apply for it anyway. The worst that could happen is that you go in that interview and they say, hey, we just feel like your skill sets may be over what we're doing. Now you prove to yourself, oh, I have good skill sets. I'm going to make this thing work out. Or be scared anyway. Go out on that first date after getting divorced. Go out on that first date. Break the seal. Not that way. Break the seal, baby. I'm talking about the dating seal. You have to figure out what you do and don't want. Or say, you know what? This is my first time being divorced. I really want to focus on myself. I want to learn how to love myself. I want to learn how to be very present, in my life. I want to see myself as a whole person before I step out into this world and I'm not ready. Like I want to heal as far as I can. I want to see what my healing journey looks like on my own before I do anything. And trust yourself. You are capable of more than you think. The fact that you are this age at this time and have made it this far means that you have made decisions, good and bad, that allowed you to still be up and watching this video. It allowed you to still be in a space where you're working on yourself. It has still allowed you a space where you feel like, hey, I want to make a change in my life. That is so super huge, right? You can identify one fear that's holding you back and commit to taking action. It could be as small as, I always thought that I wanted bangs and I've never had bangs. Go find a specialist. Get the bangs. There's so many ways for us to get extensions and all those other things that we can make it all work out. If you are a person who's like, I've never really been on my own. I don't know what it feels like to be on my own. And I think I'm going to do that for a little while. The fear may be there, but trust me, you're going to make it. You're going to make it work. You're going to do it. You may say, hey, I still want to stay in this relationship. I want to work on this relationship. And I'm scared that it's going to happen again. Valid thought. That's what therapy is for. Both sides. Couples therapy, separate therapy, implementing boundaries, trust, and being resilient in yourself, understanding that resilience starts with you. You are capable of more than you think. You will overcome more than you ever thought you would. You will be in situations and predicaments that will make you think to yourself, should I trust me in doing this? And wake up tomorrow morning and be like, oh my God, I trust me so much more, right? Because fear and doubt is an illusion. It's meant to keep us small and to keep us from wanting more, being more, expecting more, pushing forward. But when you push past your fear and you find the confidence in yourself, you start to understand how resilient you are, you will trust yourself so much more, and you'll trust the universe so much more, and you'll be able to read and see people in ways that you never thought you would, which will allow you to trust the relationships that you allow into your life. I'm just saying. We're here to grow, people. We're here to grow, people. And it can be hard because growth can be so hard. You're like, oh my God, how did I grow this gorgeous overnight? What you mean it's been 3 years? Oh, that happened 3 years ago? I've been really working on myself for 3 years? Okay then. Okay. Y'all be good. Bye.